Hey you guys, so the question for this video is, does it make you petty or a bad person to remove people from your life even if they haven't really done you wrong? And how I would like to first answer that for you is really to say, why do people have to prove themselves to be a monster, to not be meant to be in your life? Why does that have to be the case? Why can't it just be that you don't feel connected to this person? You feel that there's no real emotional connection or there's no real understanding of connecting with this person. And if the only thing that makes you keep a person around in your life is that you don't want to be you don't want to seem like a villain, or you don't want to seem like you're being mean, then is that really a good enough reason? Sometimes people are not meant to be a part of your life, and that's okay. And also at the same time, maybe your intuition is trying to help you avoid timelines that could be coming of you being in this person's energy that do have more terrible or tragic understandings for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this moment. I've experienced long moments of having someone in my environment in my life, and it took years for that energy to show up in a way that finally helped me remove them. But part of me beforehand may have known that maybe I feel less connected to this person, but I chose to keep them around. Why? Because I was used to having that person a part of my environment. You know, if that's the only reason, oh, well, we have so much history together, oh, this and that. Is that really a good reason? And also at the same time, there can be seasons for people in your life that come to a close, and that is okay. It doesn't mean that maybe you'll never have them come back and be a part of your life, but maybe that time that you guys have had together, you can't grow anymore together at this time, and you need to separate to grow more. I mean, this is situation to situation. It's important to listen to your intuition about what it feels you should do. There are people that I have disconnected with because I felt the truth of how their energy was similar to some other understanding that I've recognized from a past person. And it was not, just to clarify, it's not the same thing as trying to, it's not the same thing as having somebody come into your life and you've been triggered by somebody in the past, and you've been hurt by somebody in the past, and you just lay all of that stuff on this new person, even though they've showcased none of that stuff. No, it is genuinely the understanding of maybe there are certain things that you're seeing that are letting you know that this person could have tendencies or is in that similar understanding of energy. And your intuition is trying to tell you, hey, you've seen these patterns before. Don't let this be an understanding that you allow to grow into that old situation, that old understanding. It is about awareness and paying attention. But at the same time, a lot of people just, they don't want to be the villain. They don't want to be the bad person. They don't want to be, oftentimes people want to be seen as nice or a good person, whatever being a good person, they think a good person means, whatever they've been taught that is. I was watching this one movie once where this woman was like, it's a movie called Room. And basically the synopsis of it is that she gets, when she's a teenager, she ends up getting kidnapped by a man, and he abducts her, and she ends up locked up in this room, and there's a whole bunch of other tragic stuff that happens. But when she's talking to her mother, because she does manage to get away with the help of her son, when she's talking to her mother, she tells her mom, she said she was mad at her, angry at her, upset with her, because every time she saw this man, she always felt this energy of she should stay away from him, or he was not a good person, or whatever the case may be. But she was taught to always be nice. And she says in the movie, she's like, maybe if I hadn't heard your voice in my head telling me, be nice, be open, be a good person, maybe I wouldn't have been so open to this energy, even when I didn't feel that I shouldn't be. So again, that's also why it's important to learn to listen to yourself and listen to what message your intuition has for you, outside of what other outside energies are trying to teach you, or outside of what other outside energies are saying is what's best for you. It's really important to learn that it is okay to not want to have somebody in your life, or not to feel connected to somebody in your life any longer, and move away from them, you know? And I think that too, I was watching something else where it's like this old woman, she's like I think, was it Seinfeld? It might have been an episode of Seinfeld. I think it is. But there's this old woman, and she likes pretty much all of Seinfeld's friends, but she does not like this one girl. And finally, the girl asked her, she's like, "Why don't you like me?" And the old woman says, "I'm old. I don't have to like you. I don't have to want you to be," and that's the truth. Like, it's not just an old person understanding. You don't have to like somebody. You don't have to have somebody be a part of your life. You don't have to. It's okay. And this isn't to say, go around and doing harm to others or anything like that. But if your intuition is telling you that this is not the person that needs to be a part of your life, if your intuition is telling you that this is not an environment that you should be in, it's important to learn to listen to that. It's telling you for reasons that could be trying to save your life. Everybody has an intuitive understanding within them. Sometimes it could be very, very blocked because there's so many things that may be covering it. And that's why it's important to learn to heal and balance out, so that you can hear that intuitive understanding within yourself, learn to listen to it over anything else. But you never know how often that energy is speaking to you about removing certain energies from your life so that you can better protect yourself. And just on my own personal basis, I have often been a deleter of people in my life, and I mean, when I say delete, I was telling this one person that I was kind of sort of like dating, I guess you could say. And they were like, they said I was shallow because I said I'm a deleter, and they asked me what I meant by that, and I said, well, when I remove people from my life, I'll go through and I'll delete pictures. I will, get rid of clothes, whatever the case. If there's something that, the person gave to me that's clothing wise, whatever the case may be, I remove it. And they said I was being shallow. And the thing about me is, I actually think about stuff like that. I will take the time and see, is there any truth to it? I will analyze myself because I want to know, is that really what I'm doing? I love to just make sure that I'm in a balanced energy by analyzing where certain things are coming from within myself. And so I sat with myself and I analyzed, and I was like, no, they didn't say I was shallow. I'm sorry. They said I was petty. I was like, am I being petty? And I was like, thinking about all the times that I'd done it. No, I was like, okay, because I never asked myself, why do I do this way? I just did it. It felt right, so I did it. And I sat there, thought about it, and I was like, I am not being petty. I don't do this to be petty. I do this because I am removing this energy from my life. There's no reason for it to be around me. I just do this naturally. Like, this is an understanding of why is your energy in my space if there's nothing that has to offer me from a balanced, positive standpoint. This is about me creating space for new, better, balanced energy to be there. So whatever the case may be, remove it. And also I found out a little bit later that this person was just gaslighting me because they were planning to do they were planning to be on some BS. And, they knew they were going to be deleted from my life, from my experience. And that was their way of projecting, that that was their way of projecting that I am being petty, because they already knew behind the scenes they were doing some foolishness. But hey, I mean, well, we already know what it's going to be, you're going to be deleted. And that's exactly what happened, So my understanding is, and from what I see as a balanced way to go about things when it comes to stuff like that, is learning to be okay with removing people from your life for your own emotional balance and fulfillment. Yeah, somebody may think that you're being petty for it, but at the end of the day, you got to do what's best to protect your energy. And however they feel about it is how they feel about it. You got to do what's best for you. But at the same time, it's important to note, though you have the right to remove anybody from your life that you don't feel connected to or want around, if you all of a sudden change your mind and want that person to be a part of your environment, you should be prepared. You should be prepared to be accountable for the fact that maybe they're going to want an explanation for why you remove them or why you were in the energy, you should be prepared to be honest, and be okay with the aspect that maybe they don't want you to be a part of their life because they didn't like the fact that you removed them. So it's a double-edged sword. I do think that sometimes, a lot of times, people don't want to remove people because they don't want to look mean or whatever the case may be. But it could also be the fact that sometimes you don't remove people easily because you feel like once you do, maybe you don't want to have to go through a situation that may be awkward or embarrassing if you want this person to be a part of your life again. As simple as that. I mean, to be honest, I am okay with looking like whatever I need to look like if I need to move forward for myself. If you want to see me as a villain, that's fine. And if I understand, I'm okay with apologizing too, or saying I was wrong. If I understand that maybe I mistook, I'll be honest with you, I'll be seeing people for who they are. But if I mistook certain energy for what it was, for something different, and there is an understanding of me feeling like I need to apologize to you for removing you from my life, then I will. But I'll be honest, I don't do that type of thing lightly. I am honest with myself about who you are to me, if your energy should be a part of my life, and that's just what it is. I make those type of decisions with real thought. That's just the truth of it. But at the same time, I also leave room, because it's not like I just remove everybody in this understanding of, hey, I'm done with you, or hey, you did something wrong with me. No, sometimes I just move through my life, and I trust that if somebody is meant to be a part of my life, that spirit will guide this energy towards me. I do my best to trust in that. It's not always easy. There are certain times that, even with my family and things of that nature, or, and mainly with my family, because those are the people that, to some extent, if you have a balanced relationship with your family, you feel like they'll always be there. But I move in this sense of giving them space to do whatever they need to do so that they can move through their life how they need to and grow how they need to. And I do the same in my energy, and we come together in balance in the times that we can. It's not about us all clinging to each other in some sense. In fact, my family, most people might think that we're strange or weird in some way because we don't talk every day, but we are good. Like, I remember having this moment where I was like, when I saw other people's relationships with their family, where I was like, man, they talk all the time. They talk every day. They just always be on the phone. They just always having conversations. And my family's not like that. We don't do that. But we always say, we've had conversations about this, like, we need to give ourselves time to have something to talk about. Like, if we talking every day, like, what's changed? And that's exactly what we do. We'll have 3-4 hour conversations, and all right, girl, I'll talk to you later. Or, all right, bro, I'll talk to you later. And when we talk, we have real conversations because there's things to converse about, because we've lived we've done things, we've taken actions, whatever the case may be, and also we have our family group chat, which is where we always are, leaving text messages and stuff like that randomly. And there's always somebody in the chat that's randomly calling, FaceTiming the whole family chat out of nowhere with no rhyme or reason for whether you at work or not, or whatever the case may be. So, like, and everybody doesn't always pick up. Whoever's available picks up. That's the type of relationship that me and my siblings and my mom have with each other, because we really are just trying to do our best to live in our environment how we need to, and trust that we're going to come together when it's most balanced for us, when we're able to. We're not trying so hard to hold on and cling to each other. And that's important. It really is, There are times where I've gone like a great amount of time, even longer than our regular understanding, without, speaking to people in my family. And it's not anything but me doing what I need to do for myself, and the same and vice versa for them. So sometimes it's not about the fact that you're trying to ultimately remove this person forever, but maybe you need to go through things in your life to be able to be more open and have a more balanced connection with this person. Whatever the case may be, it's up to you to decide that. But, people are always going to have opinions about it, whether you're petty, whether you're mean, or whatever the case may be, see you as a villain. That's okay. You still got to just do what's best for you. And Sometimes maybe there'll be people that, they'll be mad that you removed them, or they'll be mad that you didn't talk to them for a long amount of time, and they don't want you to be a part of their life. And that's okay too, because, at the same time, that's just showing either where they are in their own growing process, or the fact that, it just wasn't meant to be. They were not meant to be a part of your life. And all you can do is respect that understanding as best as you can and continue to move forward. But I think that pretty much answers the question. The main thing I want you to take away from this is that it's important to note. It's so, so important. Try not to make the mistake. Do your best not to make the mistake of keeping people in your life when you feel strongly that something's telling you to remove them. Because and on this channel, I'm going to do my best to be real with you. This is so important, because I've had people that be like, oh, well, you always kind of, I don't want you to, people never want to speak about the shadowy side of things. But that's why we have so much happening in this world the way we are now. All of these exposed this, and all of this back on Nickelodeon, this, all of this stuff is being exposed and from the shadows, because nobody wants to talk about the shadowy understandings that exist. It exists, it's real. So it's important to learn to pay attention to what your intuition is trying to tell you, so you can avoid situations like that. So learning to listen to your intuition about when it's trying to tell you, while the mask still looks glittery and good to you, when it tells you to remove yourself, when it tells you this person is not somebody you need to have in your environment, it might be important to listen to that. Because at the end of the day, your intuition is trying to save you from heartache, pain, tragedy. It really is. It's so important for us to really step more and more into living an aware life. More awareness for yourself, more awareness of who you allow in, quality over quantity. But that's all I have pertaining to this topic. I hope that you found a message there for you and that it resonated. And if it didn't, I hope you found what does.